Hi there, welcome to Kneppyinvests. Very excited to be doing this video today because I'll be talking about a company that I've barely looked at in the past, AML3D. Now, I won't say what this company does right now. I'll let you have a guess, and you won't get any prizes if you do or have a correct guess because what they do is sort of in the name, AML3D. Now, this company listed on the ASX back in April 2020, and around this time, there was maybe one or two companies that listed over about a 4-month period. So, in a way, they listed at the worst time. They also listed after a hyped up period in this sector, and that bubble didn't last very long. But the whole catalyst and motivation for me doing this video today on AML3D is their September quarter results. And when I saw their quarterly results, their Appendix 4C, I just had to have a closer look at what this company does and dig a little bit deeper into the future of AML3D. So yes, AML3D is a 3D printing company that is gaining some traction over the past few months, 6 months or so. So this company has a WAM process, or wire additive manufacturing process, that metal 3D prints commercial, large-scale parts for aerospace, defense, maritime, manufacturing, mining, and oil gas. But it seems like they are focusing on the US defense sector. And this is a quote I found in either one of the announcements or the website. The company is focusing on sales to support the US Navy's submarine industrial base and its supply chain, while also developing a sales pipeline to support the wider applications in the US defense and federal sectors. Now, a few other facts in regards to AML3D. The company was founded in November 2014 by Andrew Sales. I'll talk about him in a second. Listed on the ASX in April 2020. Really interesting timing then, because that's just after the COVID-19 financial panic low, which was March the 23rd, if I remember correctly. So this could have been the first company to list on the ASX after that low, because not many companies wanted to list on the ASX around this period. I think there was like maybe one or two companies that did list over about a 3-month period. And one of those companies was a diagnostics company, Atomo Diagnostics, if I remember correctly. Managing Director is Sean Ebert, and he was appointed in this role recently, but he has been on the board in this company since 2019. He's also the interim CEO. This is according to the website. So maybe they haven't updated the website. I'm just wondering if he will be appointed the CEO in the future. Now, Andrew Sales is not only the founder of the company and the CTO, or Chief Technology Officer, he also owns 13.8% of the company. So definitely a little bit of skin in the game when it comes to Andrew Sales, and an important part of the management team of this company. The current market of AML3D is only $18 million. That's a share price of 7.5 cents. So definitely not a lot of interest in the market when it comes to this company's September quarter report. So I'll touch upon this again when we look at the quarterly receipts and also the chart later in the video. Shares on issue, only 236 million. So that's about right for this type of company. Now, more than likely, if they do burn through cash over the next few years, they'll probably eventually have to do a capital raising, but who knows? Maybe they can become free cash flow positive on a continual basis. And the ticker for this company is AL3. Before we have a look at the September quarter results for financial year 24, let's go back 1 year ago, just to see how this company has progressed in the past year. And to be honest with you, it's been a very impressive progression. But there might be a story behind that, and I'll touch upon that possible story when we look at the cash receipts history. But 1 year ago, in the September quarter, this company only generated $104,000 in receipts and burned through $1.2 million of cash in operations. So they were burning through cash, and because they were burning through cash, the company actually did a capital raising, $2.7 million capital raising, and that meant the cash on hand actually increased from $2.9 million to $4.1 million. Now, one thing that did surprise me when I looked at this particular Appendix 4C is the lack of property, plant, and equipment, or capital expenditure. Only $22,000. I actually thought it would be a little bit higher because I assumed, maybe that's a bad assumption, that this company would be capital intensive. But it seems, based off this quarter and the most recent September quarter, that's not true. So let's have a look at the September quarter for financial year 24. The whole reason I'm doing this video, the catalyst, the motivation for me doing this video today, introducing you to this company, is because of this particular quarter. So if we compare quarter on quarter, very impressive growth in receipts, up 2.2 million. But again, there's a story behind that. I'll talk about that story when we look at the cash receipts history. So a massive growth in cash receipts. Not only that, even though there was a massive growth in cash receipts, the spending didn't increase all that much. Product manufacturing operating costs only up $650,000, staff costs only up $300,000, and in fact, administration costs down $200,000. So this company possibly saw some scale in this particular quarter. Now, I want to confirm that possibility in future quarters. And again, there's a reason behind that. But this company was operating cash flow positive in this quarter by $365,000. And not only that, this company doesn't use This company doesn't use much money in financing and investing activities. So that 365 positive cash flow in operations fell to the bottom line. And that means the cash on hand actually increased from 4.5 million to 4.8 million. And again, capital expenditure was really light, only $12,000 in this particular quarter. And maybe that's an ongoing thing for this company. They don't spend a lot of money on capital expenditure in the September quarter. And maybe in other quarters, they spend a lot of money in capital expenditure or property, plant, and equipment. So that's something I'll probably have to research a little bit more, because it does seem like this company should spend a bit of money in capital expenditure because they do have 3D printing equipment, which you'd think they'd have to spend a little bit of money on to not only maintain, but also to maybe manufacture more and more equipment or 3D printing stuff. Now to the receipts history for AML3D, and I've already hinted that receipts for this company can be quite lumpy. So let's have a look at the last 5 quarters. $104,000 in the September quarter last year, then $54,000, up to $1 million in the March quarter, down back to $207,000 in the June quarter, and then up to $2.4 million in the most recent quarter. So a few things to like about this receipts history and a few things not to like about the receipts history. The one thing to like is when we see these big, really good quarters, receipts are bigger than the previous good quarter. So we've gone from 614,000, 666,000, or 667,000, 1.04 million, up to 2.36 million. But when this company has a bad quarter, receipts are almost zero. So it's talking about 95,000, 78,000, 104,000, 54,000, and then 207,000. So I like to see receipts smoothed out. I want to see less of a difference or a gap between the good quarters and the bad quarters. And the reason receipts might be quite lumpy for this company is just the nature of the business and the nature of the contracts. There is that potential that when this company has a contract, that all the receipts, particularly if it's a big contract, all the receipts of that contract come in the one quarter. So I would not be surprised at all to see receipts in the current quarter, the December quarter of financial year 24, go all the way back down to say $100,000. That would not surprise me at all, because this company very rarely has 2 good quarters in a row. Now to the charts for AML3D, and the first one here is the weekly chart. I'll show you the daily chart in the next slide. And the interesting thing about AML3D is just after this company listed on the ASX, there was a lot of interest in AML3D, particularly between July and September of 2020. So over about a 2 to 3 month period, share price of this company rose from 16 cents to a high of 73 cents. In fact, the share price rose in 10 consecutive weeks, maybe it's 11 consecutive weeks. And the share price high or peak for this company was again in September of 2020. And since September 2020, the share price of this company has dropped exactly 90%, from 73 cents to 7.3 cents. As we take a look at the daily chart for AML3D, you'll notice a couple of interesting things. The first interesting thing is there was an increased interest in this company in February this year, heightened or increase in volume. Not only the share price took off over about a 2-day period, share price went from about 7 cents to a high of 13.5 cents. And then almost immediately, the share price pulled back. sort of like a reversed V-shaped recovery. This was a reverse V-shaped recovery. I'm not sure if there's a name for that. And the share price kept on falling, went to a low of 4.5 cents in June of this year, and the share price has recovered. In fact, not only has the share price recovered, we saw some increased volume in August, around the time the company released their full year results, and the share price was trying to move into an uptrend. And the sentiment in this company was starting to shift from negative to positive. Share price went to a high of 11.5 cents in August, but I think overall negative sentiment in the market has driven the share price down from 11.5 cents to 7.3 cents. So it does look like sentiment wants to shift for this company. And maybe one of the reasons why sentiment is trying to shift is because the market realizes if this company is successful with their relationship with the US defense sector, this company could be anything. That's all I have for this introduction to AML3D, motivated by the company's September quarter results, which in isolation were quite impressive. But you can't look at one quarter's results in isolation. You've got to get the broader picture. And when you look at the wider or broader picture of AML3D, particularly focusing on their quarterly receipts, there are some red flags right there, particularly when it comes to the lumpiness in receipts. So if you have any questions about this company, if you're a shareholder of AML3D, I'd love to hear your thoughts on this company. So leave your thoughts in the comment section of this video. Otherwise, I am not a financial advisor. If you do need financial advice, make sure you seek out someone who's qualified and can speak to your own financial needs. That's it for this video. Have a good day. Bye.